We're at the Starlight Theater in Branson, Missouri. In fact, we're in the Starlight Diner. This is the Branson home of Larry Gatlin and the Gatlin brothers, and sitting next to me is Larry Gatlin. Larry, welcome to Gospel Music Today.
Thank you. God love you. Glad to be here.
We know the Gatlin brothers for the many years in country music, and you've been at the top of the top for all those years, but your roots are in gospel music.
Absolutely. My first heroes were James Blackwood and Hovey Lister and Jake Hess and those guys with the Blackwood brothers and the Statesmen back years ago. I went when I was maybe 5 years old and heard them sing, and R.W. Blackwood, you know, who unfortunately was killed in that tragic airplane crash in 1954, 55, something like that. So, yeah, it's our first love. Our grandfather was led the singing conventions. There's my owner, Randy Little. Hey, boss. You know, our grandfather led the singing in church a lot of times, and those little singing conventions out of the Stamps Baxter songbooks that came out twice a year. So we were raised in gospel music. I tell people I'm a gospel singer who got a real good break in country music. So we're grateful for the journey.
Yeah. What was your first experience in singing?
Well, my daddy put me up. I was 3 years old, and he put me up on the kind of the counter of a diner, probably not much different than this, and put a nickel or a penny or whatever the jukebox took back in 1951, and sat me up there and sang, "Hey, good looking, what you got cooking," along with, you know, Hank Williams. So that's the very first time. Sang a little bit on radio. But then, like I say, when we heard those wonderful groups, James and Jake and Hovey and all them sing, that was like I say, the first time I saw them, I knew that's what I wanted to be, as a gospel singer. So we got their records, learned songs from that. I was going to my mom was going to enter us in a little talent, or enter me in a little talent show, because I'm the oldest brother. I was 6. As a solo, Rudy was only 2 years old. Our Aunt Nell said, "Billy," you know, her sister, said, "You need to put all 3 of them up there." And Mama said, "But they can't sing. Rudy's only 2. I said, "Well, go in there and listen to them. They're around the hi-fi right now." So he could hum along, and that's how he learned to talk, was singing, you know, to Blackwood Brothers and Statesman records. So she entered us in the little contest. We won the 2, 4, and 6 division, which we were the only ones in the 2, 4, and 6 division. But that started, like I say, it's our first love, always has been, always will be.
You sang with a gospel quartet that a lot of people will recognize the names when you sang with the Imperials.
Well, I tried. I was with them about a month, and that's about all of me they could take. They really wanted to hire a guy named Greg Gordon. When Roger Wiles left, they wanted Greg Gordon, and the thing was with him, he was eligible for the draft. Vietnam was, you know, fast, you know, hot and, you know, furious and tragic. But when he failed his draft physical, they didn't draft him, and they brought him. So I sang with them for a month, and they told me later, or Jimmy Dean actually told me, we were working with him at the Landmark, he says, "They know you're going to be a star someday, and they don't want to have to just hire another guy and buy new suits." Well, they knew it before I did. I just wanted to be a baritone singer with the Imperials. So it worked out for all of us. I'm still dear friends with every one of them.
Mm-hmm. How much time do you guys spend in Branson each year?
Well, we only did about 30 days this year. We're going to do almost 80 shows. Y'all have to put up with us for 80 shows next year. Oh, how will you ever do it? That will test your religion. Some of our wonderful crew over there. So the Starlight, Randy Little, I mentioned, he came by a while ago and I waited. Very nice man, and he believes in us and what we can do here at the theater. So I think we have 78 shows. From March on through December. Usually we just come in the fall, but we're going to try to stretch it out and do a few more dates this year. In fact, a lot more dates.
Yeah. You've been doing some solo church dates working with a friend of ours, Ron Blackwood. Tell me about those.
Well, Ron's an old friend. Like I say, his father was one of my first heroes. We've known him for 40-something years. And he knows his way around the gospel music business. Everybody knows Ron Blackwood. So he came to me a year ago, and said, "Can I book some gospel dates?" Because William Morris Agency, our country, largest agency in the world, William Morris in Denver, they don't have a gospel music division. So I said, "Well, sure." So Ron and I think we did 4 or 5 dates last year. Maybe have 8 or 10 for next year. I'm not sure, but nice guy, knows what he's doing. So it's fun. Like I say, it's back to my roots.
Mm-hmm. And it must be different.
You know what Vince Gill told Amy Grant? He said, "Same old boys I'm singing for in that beer joint on Saturday night, you're singing for a lot of them on Sunday morning."
That's right.
So it works for me. We're all God's kids, right?
That's right. Tell me about the current CD.
Well, I told my son one time that country music could never be the same. After all, Johnny Cash is dead and his house burned down. So I wrote a song about it, wrote a few more songs. Got a deal with Mike Curb, liked our music, and we didn't really know each other. We kind of met each other through some kind of strange circumstances. And so we did the CD. And, you know, I understand the deal. It's a very subjective business. It's not like golf. You know, if Tiger Woods puts the ball in the hole the fewest amount of times, he wins the trophy. And it doesn't have to do with how old you are, whether you're black or white, Christian, Jew, man, woman, doesn't have anything to do with it. Our business is different. It's very subjective. And as it is, it's kind of a young person's game. And they're just probably not going to put an old 65-year-old on the radio when they're trying to get 13 to 18-year-old girls to listen. So that's okay. It is what it is. I'm rooting for the others. We had our shot at it, and we're very successful. I'm grateful for that. And then right now, it's Branson. It's concerts out around some solo work and some county fairs and whatever. Like I say, they're still God's kids, and we do the best we can, you know, to entertain them. Look at this. Woo! We're cooking now. Rev, get you one of those.
All right.
All right. Carry on.
Okay. What's your favorite Larry Gatlin song?
My favorite is I've Done Enough Dying Today. I think from front to back, it's one of the best songs I've ever written. I love the melody. I'm grateful for it. I love to sing it. Has some beautiful harmony on the taglines with the brothers. I mean, Help Me, a gospel song I wrote. You know, we sang that at Johnny Cash's funeral, June Carter's funeral, Darrell Royal's funeral. We've sung at a lot of funerals. Like I say, as long as you're singing at theirs, they ain't singing at yours. But to live is Christ and to die is gain, right?
Yeah,
so that ain't no bad deal either.
That's right.
So my banker's favorite is All the Gold in California, I'll tell you, and my wife's.
All right. Well, Larry, it's been great to meet you, and we thank you for being on Gospel Music today.
Thank you. You sure didn't run anybody off eating French. You gotta love a man who'll eat French fries on TV.
That's right.
Come on, Rev, have one.
They are. They look good. Mm-hmm.